I bring you greetings from the Secretariat of the Nigerian Indigenous Nationalities Alliance for Self-Determination, NINAS. This 12th day of January 2022. Yes, the other day we woke up to some drama in Lagos in which the governor, Sanwo-Olu, found himself in an altercation with a police superintendent. They call him Chief Superintendent. That Chief Superintendent was defying his direct orders about what a police contingent from Abuja was doing in Lagos, and the governor got there in person. And the police superintendent simply told him, look, sir, I'm not accountable to you. In summary, in all of whatever was said there, the summary of what happened there, which is the purpose of this broadcast, to explain to us our situation under this constitution. The summary of what happened there is that that police officer was telling the governor of Lagos State that he's not accountable to him, that there's nothing he's going to do if not as directed by the IG in Abuja through a chain of command. That same thing that a police superintendent did, a police constable can do. Anybody in arms, army, immigration, Air Force, DSS, prison, anybody with gun inside Lagos or in any of the states is in a position to tell the governor, look, go talk to my superiors if you have anything to say. I owe you no obligation. That is the implication of the exclusive list that has arms and ammunition under the exclusive control of the federal government. It further means that your governors don't have control over one rifle. It further means that your governor cannot issue any firearms to any agencies of their own. All the guns to be used for all kinds of purposes exclusively belong to the federal government, must be licensed by the federal government. Even the vigilante or the state, any kind of security arrangement you make is subjugated to the whims and caprices of the federal government as long as this constitution remains in place. That is the reality. And so imagine that herdsmen or whoever, bandit or terrorists, invade. As they come, the governor does not have any guns he can mobilize of his own. He has to rely on the agencies of the federal government that carry the guns. And if those who are doing that invasion are working in tandem with that federal government, like General Danjuma told us in 2018, that they collude, if they are working in collusion, what will your governor do by the time he now finds out he doesn't have any gun to answer to them? Because the agencies of government that carry arms are under the exclusive control of not only the federal government, but of a section of the country that is in exclusive control of that federal government as far as all the agencies carrying arms are concerned. That is the situation we are in now. All the guns in the lands are in the hands of one nationality in one small section of the country. And they've thrown our borders open, compromising our sovereignty by inviting their kinsmen from all over the place to come in and join them in taking your land. They are killing and dislodging the indigenous communities across the length and breadth of this land. But our concern is for the South and Middle Belt, because those who went with them to embrace Sharia in the Upper North have seceded from our secular union. We are not, they've done so in self-determination. We are not going to force them to come and become part of the secular union of Nigeria. They've left. The rest of us are now working out our own salvation in self-determination. And so what we saw relating to security also extends to every single subject in that long 68-item exclusive list in that constitution. If you generate electricity, the question of generation and transmission of electricity is also in the hands of that federal government. They say it's on the concurrent. If you go to the exclusive list, you won't find it, but it's on the concurrent list. And it was so designed that you cannot generate electricity for use in any place that the national grid covers. And so while the impression is created that the states can actually generate electricity and transmit, The reality is that it has to be subject to, the fact that the federal government has not, the current federal government, the national grid or whatever it's called, which is the NEPA, or the PHCN, has not reached that area. The practical implication is that unless the federal government generates and transmits electricity to you, your governor is not going to be able to give you electricity. No matter how much they invest in trying to build. River State built, did they get? Lagos built in Egme, did they get? Because when you generate that electricity, it is first fed into the national grid, and people sitting in Sokoto and Kano are in a position to determine who gets what from that electricity. Every one of those 68 items operates like that. Your governors have nothing they can do about it. The elections you see, even the question of selecting who will be governor over you, is exclusively in the hands of that federal government. So if they choose to impose a whole position on you in the manner we saw in Imo, or the kind of people that have been thrown on Abia from 1999, if they choose to send the worst criminal as the only ones, if you have to choose in an election between armed robbers and ritualists and serial killers, that's all you get, because the electoral management is 100% in the hands of that central government under this constitution. Is one item on the exclusive list. You can't do the road from your state capital to the next capital because it's federal asset, and therefore Enugu to Port Harcourt or Onitsha to Enugu will be the way it is. So we're just saying that the consequences of that exclusive list are diverse and deep. Everything happening to you and all the people who come to promise you that they are going to do it one way or the other, everything starts with taking down that constitution. Your governors are as helpless as you saw Sanwo-Olu that day in Lagos. You come to Port Harcourt, we've seen what's going on there. You saw what we have to hail our brother Nyesom Wike, who is a governor there. He's doing his best in the face of all of the debilitations of that constitution. The black suit falling over Port Harcourt. We see the action he's trying to take. We see the people that went to protest from the action he's trying to. You see again, he's back in the hands of people who may be interested, who may not be interested in solving the problem. The people causing the problem, can find protection even in that Port Harcourt from those who have exclusive control over the enforcement mechanism. To tell you something else, all the laws your state governors are passing, including and in fact in particular the anti-open grazing laws. The people doing the grazing, pretending to be herdsmen, coming with guns to kill people, are using guns. The governors go to Asaba to say, oh, we will all pass law to ban open grazing. Wonderful. But by which gun are you going to enforce that law? That's where the problem begins. That's where the constitution sets in. You cannot license one rifle under this constitution. And so if people are being killed under your watch and guns are being used and the constitution says you can't touch gun, is outside your limit, and then you go and pass law that will require gun to enforce, and you fall back to the same people that are sending the people that are killing you, does it make sense? We are making this broadcast to alert all of us that we are in grave danger concerning the question of that constitution remaining in place. And now they're inviting everybody to come to elections. Some of the governors are even parading, are even declaring that they're going to contest. Others are mobilizing how their party will win. The journey to that election in 2023 is the journey to renew the life of that constitution that ensure this damnation, that ensure these calamities that are befalling you, whether it is the killings or the assets that are seized, whatever. All of the things, all the laws that you pass for the good of your own people, your own state, You can't enforce them if you do not have police that will go to enforce with the sheriff. And so you wait again for, so if there's anything that you have passed in the law that the federal government or the people who are opposed to you sitting in Abuja, it could be just about any subject. It could even be electoral matter. Whatever it is that they do not want to enforce is not enforced. How can we continue to live like that? And we now challenge NINAS today, challenge it, the federal, the state governors. If you have any asset, whether it's your ports, whether it is solid mineral, whether it's oil and gas, whether it is the right to issue firearms, and at this point we have to single out our brother in Benue State, Governor Samuel Otom, who has found the courage to sign a law under which he will issue firearms to, agencies of, to security agencies, whatever they call it, in their state. We challenge all the other governors who are witnessing the killing of their people to take similar measures. The Constitution has been defeated. The Constitution is dead. Don't tell us because of the Constitution you can't do this or do that. But it's not something you leave for only one person to go and do while you sit, folding your arms, and your people are being killed, and their assets are being taken. We invite you, we challenge you. That Constitution must be taken down. You have a role to play in it. You cannot be mobilizing to go to renew the life of that Constitution in 2023 at a time your people are trying to run away from the consequences of that, are trying to take down that Constitution. Are you with your people now, if that is what you are doing? If that Constitution is the reason their life is upside down, are you with them? If you are not already a part of how that Constitution will be taken down, let us go to transition. That is what the 5-point proposition in that Constitutional Force Majeure of December 2020 has a time-bound framework for an orderly, decommissioning of this Constitution. We don't need to postpone it any further. If you step forward, you don't even need to wait for anybody to begin to take back some of the things that Constitution took from you. Find out how Lagos did some of what it did in the past. How did Osborne land come back to the hands of Lagos? How did the control of the inland waterways of Lagos return to them? And all of that. So there must be more courage. There must be more clarity. Those who do not understand how it all works, the NINA Secretariat will be available to come to explain to you in private. Some of the governors are already receiving that brief. That's why they are doing better than you are doing. In the days ahead, your own people are going to be asking you these questions in the most inconvenient manner. But we don't want it to become disorderly. And so this broadcast is targeted at the governors who are being prevented from doing what they ought to be doing for their people because the Constitution says they can't do. In the same vein, and at the same time, the people who are suffering from all those things being dished out to them by that imposed Constitution are also watching and listening to see what their governors are doing compared with what others are doing in other places. Anything that Constitution says you cannot do, NINAS say, if it is on that exclusive list, NINAS is saying that Constitution is dead. All you need to do is to, construct a bill, send that bill to your state assembly, let that assembly pass that bill into law, you sign the law, and you begin to enforce the law. Let us see who will come from Abuja to prevent you from doing what you have to do for your people in your area, because the Constitution that is a fraud says so. I think a word is enough for the wise, but let nobody be part of going to renew the life of that Constitution in 2023. That is the one that will become immediate fight in your neighborhood, because those who now know are going to take it up against you.